Welcome. Today we're diving into Burrows Delta, a powerful tool in the world of stylometry and author attribution. Developed in 2002, Burrows Delta measures stylistic differences between texts, helping scholars determine who wrote what. It's been widely used for European languages, where texts are written with phonemic alphabets and spaces between words. But what happens when we apply this method to a language with a completely different structure, like medieval Chinese? Let's explore how Burrows Delta performs when faced with the unique challenges of Tang dynasty poetry. Like European languages, medieval Chinese presents a unique set of challenges for stylometric analysis. Chinese poetry from the Tang dynasty is written in characters, not alphabetic letters, and lacks spaces to separate words. This makes tokenization, a key step in most text analysis, much more complex. Additionally, Chinese is an analytic language with little inflection, and its poetic tradition is highly regulated. These factors raise the question, can Burrows Delta, designed for alphabetic scripts, still accurately identify authorship in such a different linguistic environment? Despite its success in European languages, Burrows Delta hasn't been widely used by sinologists studying medieval Chinese poetry. Why? One reason is that Tang poetry is exceptionally well documented, with authorship rarely in doubt. The Chinese literary tradition valued authority and meticulous record-keeping, so there's less need for attribution tools. Additionally, the technical challenges of processing Chinese texts, like tokenization and the unique role of characters, have discouraged researchers from applying Delta. But what if we try anyway? Test Burrows Delta on Tang poetry. Researchers used the complete Tang poems collection, the largest digitized source of Tang dynasty poetry. They focused on the 20 most prolific poets, each with tens of thousands of characters in their works. For each poet, their poems were randomly shuffled and split into 2 large samples, repeated across 5 test corpora. This approach allowed for robust testing of Delta's ability to cluster texts by author, even when the samples varied. The analysis was performed using the stylo package in R, configured to treat each Chinese character as a token. Since Chinese lacks clear word boundaries, the analysis relied on individual characters as tokens, rather than words or multi-character sequences. The stylo package's flexibility made this possible, allowing researchers to select the 100 most frequent characters for comparison. This method sidestepped the need for complex and potentially error-prone tokenization algorithms. The focus was on measuring the stylistic distance between samples from the same and different authors, using the delta formula to calculate intertextual distances. Results were impressive. In all 5 test corpora, Burrows Delta successfully clustered samples from the same poet together, never confusing one author for another. Even with just 100 character tokens, the method proved highly accurate. The clustering was visualized through dendrograms and heat maps, clearly showing that samples from the same poet had the smallest stylistic distances. This confirmed that, despite the unconventional approach, Delta could effectively distinguish between individual Tang poets. Heat maps of Delta distances provided further evidence of the method's effectiveness. In these visual representations, the smallest distances always appeared between samples from the same poet, while distances between different poets were much larger. This pattern held true across all test corpora, reinforcing the reliability of Delta for author attribution, even in a language and literary tradition so different from those it was originally designed for. The study shows that Burrows Delta can be applied to medieval Chinese poetry without the need for complex preprocessing or tokenization. Even with the constraints of character-based analysis and a highly regulated poetic tradition, the method remains effective. However, further research could explore its limits, such as using more authors, fewer tokens, or smaller samples, to see where the method might break down. For now, the results are promising for anyone interested in computational authorship studies in non-European languages. In summary, Burrows Delta has proven itself to be a versatile and robust tool for author attribution, even in the challenging context of medieval Chinese poetry. Its success here suggests that stylometric methods can cross linguistic and cultural boundaries, offering valuable insights into authorship and literary style. For philologists and digital humanists, Delta opens new possibilities for research, even in traditions where individual style is often masked by strict conventions. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of language, literature, and technology.